Okay, guys, we are back with episode 49. We're approaching the big 5-0.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is episode 49, and I'm Andrew Singh Kooner, and this is
the doc.
the doc, the boxer, the docs.
You got it.
Doc and the boxer.
Don't dox me.
Come on,
Hey,
you
man.
no, hey, it's not about quantity, it's about quality, okay? That's what we're going for in the show.
True, true.
Quality.
Yeah,
um,
very high quality.
so,
HD.
yeah, for sure, HD.
Most,
So, Doc, so we'll get look at the shirt. Gotta represent Tank Davis.
yes. Wow,
Gervonta
that's
is
a great shirt.
it was a great fight
Yeah.
actually. I mean, every fight he's in, it's always entertaining. Any fight he's in, right?
I want to make one observation because I watched
Okay,
every fight on the undercards on
yeah,
the Showtime, and
yeah.
I watched almost every fight on the PB what's it called?
GBC,
C.
yeah.
And one thing I noticed though that was really interesting, I think, almost every fight had a southpaw.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen so many cards
So
where there's
yeah,
southpaw. That's why I want you to go back, watch some of the other undercards, and you'll be amazed at how many. Every fight had a southpaw in it.
So one thing about that, because you said there were mostly Japanese fights, right? Fighters fighting on the undercard. Was it a few?
Well, there
of
was
them?
one. Yeah, there was one.
One? There's only one?
Yeah,
Okay, because he was probably a southpaw, right?
he was a southpaw. It was a 4-round fight. He knocked
Yeah.
the third round.
hmm
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about if we have time, but we're gonna
Yeah.
jump right into this, and we're gonna talk about the main fight. For me,
Yeah.
it was the main fight. It was the pay-per-view fight, and there's
Yeah.
only a limited number of pay-per-view fighters out there. I'm talking
Sure.
like Canelo and Tank Davis. So this fight, let me just do the little rundown that we always do. It was
You
at the
got it.
State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. The attendance was 16,570. Pretty
Full
decent,
house.
pretty decent crowd.
Yeah, that's
What-
actually a packed house for that arena. That's full. Sold
right.
out.
Oh, that's where the NBA team plays.
Yeah,
The Atlanta
yeah.
Hawks.
Yeah.
And it's only 16,000 at
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like the ACC, I think.
For
is around.
sure, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a basketball
Yeah.
size, right?
Yeah.
So we have Gervonta Tank Davis from Baltimore, Maryland. It now is 25-0 with 24 KOs as he KO'd in the 11. I should have said for the WBA super lightweight title, the champion was Barrios, and this was on Showtime PBC pay-per-view. Gervonta Tank Davis, Baltimore, Maryland, now improves to 25-0 with 24 KOs with his KO in the 11th round of Mario Azteca Barrios, San Antonio, Texas, who's now 26-1, 17 KOs. So we'll jump right on into what your thoughts are, Doc, on in regards to this fight.
Well, it was actually a close fight up until those knockdowns.
Yeah.
Even at one point, I think Barrios was ahead, and but Tank Davis has gears, right?
Yeah.
He was only in first or second gear in the first 3-4 rounds, and around I think it was between 8 and 9. He's in the corner, and Mayweather is there.
Yeah.
You hear Mayweather say, "You're losing.
Yeah.
You got to knock this guy out. You're losing."
This is what he exactly said.
Okay,
Mayweather.
you got it.
He goes, on the unofficial, you're down.
Unofficial, right?
I got to be honest with you. That's what you want from me. He's
I'm
being
being
honest,
100.
right? You don't want to be lying. I don't want to be lying to you. I'm 100 with you.
Yes.
That's my job, right?
Yes. I thought that was the best thing anybody could say to
I agree.
Davis. Because after that, he got that first knockdown.
Right, and that fire was lit right there, and the sense of urgency. Even though the unofficially, yes, he was down in he was down in the cards unofficially. Yes. I think it was. I can't remember the Showtime what it was, but the official had him ahead. The official scorecard had him. All three cards had him ahead. 96, 92. 97, 91, and 96, 92 going into
I could not disagree more with that.
That was no, this is Gervonta is that way. You agree he was winning going into by that much? Yeah.
No.
Barrios? You think Barrios?
Either Barrios or it was a point either way.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a close fight going. They remember how I made that point about the Leo Santa Cruz? It was this same thing concept. Like it seemed to us that Leo was winning that fight but that's the beauty of having a fighter like Tank Davis. He's got that dynamite in his hands where the fight can be changed just like that, and he throws vicious knockout power consistently throughout.
He was being a little conservative in the first 3 to 4 rounds. I still like. I'm a fan of Barrios now as well.
I am too. Which I didn't know too much about him prior to this fight.
Yeah, me as well. And now I'm a fan of his, and I want to see him fight again. Tough guy too, eh? What a tough guy he was.
Very, very tough. He went out on a shield, like he really did. Even though he was getting hurt and whatever, he was tough and just he kind of took over in those few rounds where he was getting beat up, and then he came back and he was coming back.
Yes, I remember in one of those rounds he caught Davis with a nice hard hook too.
Yeah,
but Davis is something special,
isn't he?
There's no question.
For sure, he is.
The way, not just the power.
Yeah.
But the way he can close the distance so fast, so explosive, like a fast lineman off the,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like completely impressed with him.
Yeah.
He's just gifted and talented, and
26.
Every fight of his.
Yeah, for sure. And those are just my sentiments as well, Doc. He's extremely gifted. You're exactly right with that. One thing that's underrated is, even though he got touched a little bit, but his defense is really good too, really good.
He's hard to hit.
He's just a small little tank. Is a perfect moniker for him. That's exactly what he is. He'll just roll right through, keep going, rolling through. He was saying, like, initially the first 6 rounds, whatever, he wasn't doing the Lomenchenko for 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, and moving around, but he was taking his time fighting on the outside, but then he started going forward, and then the fight changed.
No, I thought it was interesting because his corner was saying, yeah, go push him forward, push him so he can't punch, Barrios can't punch moving backwards. I actually saw him punch quite well moving backwards, Barrios.
I mean, maybe they just said it was Calvin Ford, that's his coach, and
probably.
Calvin Ford has been with Tank since day one, which I really like that too, because when there's that closeness, one's not gonna screw the other one over. It's a really usually. I mean, Princeton Steam and Brendan Engel were like that too, and then things happen. But I mean,
but another example of that is Andre Ward and Virgil Hunter.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Very impressive. I'm still impressed with Barrios. He's got a lot of fight in him. He's pretty young too, so I hope. Yeah,
they're both 26. They're still relatively in their prime now. These are prime time.
Absolutely.
So this is what Tank says. Like, I made it tough. I'd say I definitely could have made it easier, but it is what it is. I went up in 2 weight classes. I was trying to catch him with some funny shots, but I'm the type of fighter that I just want to hit you with clean shots. I just don't want to throw any type of shots. So the shots I was throwing, most of them were missing, but I eventually caught them well.
Yeah, that first knockdown was just this explosive. Was it a right hook he caught him
Yeah, I
with?
think it was a hook, man.
On the temple, yeah. And he went down sideways, Barrios.
Yeah, he did. And that's not a good indicator when you go down sideways or forward.
No. But he fought back.
He definitely fought back for sure.
Yeah.
And he was hurt and he fought back.
Yeah.
Diligently.
What a entertaining fight though. Like the first
Wasn't it?
But then it just, wow. I was on the edge of my seat. Like I was cheering.
And this is why like Tank is propelled to be like, in Mayweather's words, he says here, he's like, he has the potential to be one of the greatest ever. When I first met Tank, when he was 14 or 15 years old, I told him I'd make him a world champion and that you'll be one of the best someday. And I'm proud of him. And I like how Mayweather conducted himself in this fight, being especially like what he said. It's not like he's trying to take over Calvin Ford's job or whatever, but he said the right thing that sparked the fuse on Gervonta.
Absolutely, 100%.
And then also too, even in the post-fight press conference, he's not. Remember how before, and there's been times before where we're just like, oh my God, why is he? He's always talking about himself. Maybe when I was his age and this and that, but now he's taking a back seat. He was just he was against the wall, just drinking his coffee, listening to Tank, and you could see with Tank, maybe what he was doing, maybe he was still preparing Tank, because now Tank seems to me, because that's a big portion as well too, is the media and speaking with the media and things like that. Though that's a big part of promotion, and if you want to get to a pay-per-view level, right?
Yeah.
And you can see he's been groomed like that. Yeah. He spoke. He's ghetto from Baltimore, right?
Tough upbringing.
But he's speaking the right things and stuff. I gotta thank Leonard Elby. I gotta thank TMT promote. Mayweather used to say that all the time.
Yeah,
I think they've done a hell of a job.
I know,
right?
I know, but he's learning from the best, right? So
learning from the best, and I really respect that.
Yeah,
really respect that.
Yeah, that was wow. That was such a fun night of fights, man. That topped it off too. That fight was exciting.
Yeah, that was a definitely a main event type of fight that took over the show.
Totally took it over. Do you know if they had a rematch clause in that or no?
No, they're for sure not. I mean, there shouldn't be a rematch. We can't even talk about a rematch. But anyways, this is Gervonta was saying, because I was really interested in like what he's gonna do next, right? That's the next thing. And he said this before the fight with Barrios, and he's like, I'm moving back down to 135 or even 130. So he walked into the ring at about 147, 46. Can you believe that from a guy that fought 130 against Leo Santa Cruz?
Yeah. So it's funny you say that, because I noticed when I watched him training for this fight, he looked thick. His body looked thick, but not fat or anything, but he looked like thick, like he put some meat on, some muscle on.
Right, yeah.
And it ended up boding very well for him. I'm glad to hear that he goes down to 135. There's more to pick from at 135. More big fights that he could have at 135, which ultimately means big money at 135.
And that's what we want to see, right? We want to see these guys get it on amongst each other and bring those, be the four kings like Hagler and all the Herons and them and Leonard and Duran. We want to see that in that 135 weight class.
That's a crazy division now. It's so deep, like with big talent.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. It'll be neat to see who his next fight is, his next opponent is at 135.
If like that, honestly, Doc, my thinking about this, because Mayweather kind of alluded to it too, is like there's plenty of fighters that, and he's talking about in his stable, in his Showtime team, not just him TMT, but that are affiliated with PBC and Showtime, that fights that they can get made with that. He don't want to work with Bob Arum and stuff like that, and everyone doesn't want to work with Bob Arum, De La Hoya, and whatever. Anyways, but
Bob Arum put a great show on as well.
Oh yeah, he did. He equally.
I don't look. They're going to go where the money is.
I don't know.
Done a promotion with when he fought Pacquiao. He did a co-promotion with Arum.
Right, Mayweather and Pacquiao, yeah.
It's all going to be
but I think one thing is this, Doc, is that okay, because if we look at Tank, right, as great as he is and what we see, the potential is massive with him, but put him against Lomenchenko, right? And then do you think De La Hoya is like licking his lips for a fight like that to happen? Definitely not, because he knows there's a big potential, great risk of fighting him, Teofimo, those two. There's a big risk.
Hold it. So who does Golden Boy have at 135? Lomachenko's top rank.
Linares, but he's gone. I mean, Haney. Haney. I think he's like DAZN. I know he's DAZN. Maybe he is with Golden Boy too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But Tank would destroy him. If that happened.
Man, I don't know who can beat I don't know who could beat Tank.
Yeah, but Lomenchenko?
I'd love to see that fight. Let's put it that way.
I mean, like there's mock posters being made already about that fight and stuff. So this is, and then also because we'll talk about Vasily Lomachenko made his return as well too.
And remember, sorry, just to interrupt for a second. Remember, at 135, my guess is that he's going to go for the money, Davis, his team, but also belts. Loma doesn't have a belt right now at 135.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. That like the money and the belts are gonna mean something here. Yeah. And I guess it's become more about the belts. Like people want belt. Like they always say, I want a belt. Everyone's got a belt nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. And you keep hearing the word legacy being thrown out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. They have a different definition of legacy. Legacy to me means you fight the best, whether the best has a belt or not. But I don't think it means the same thing to everybody. So I'd be curious to. That's one of the questions I would ask them. What is your definition of legacy? What is legacy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. Yeah, and that would define them. Like that will show us what their intention is.
Right.
And I got so many segues from you today, because that just reminds me of the one article when I talk about Mayweather and Pacquiao are having a little bit of verbal, because Pacquiao's like he needs money. That's why he's fighting and Mayweather and Pacquiao's more like, I'm building a legacy. I want to fight the best, the undefeated guys. Undefeated guy. Not a Logan Paul type of thing.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, Dan Raphael put out a post about the Spence Pacquiao.
I know. I was gonna talk about that too. This may go to court again.
But so far it sounds like Pacquiao did something maybe he shouldn't have.
He took the 3-point-something million and advance.
Right.
I mean,
doesn't want to return it.
Well, he doesn't want to return it. Just give the money back, and then he'll drop everything. Make an agreement. Start writing on paper. Make an agreement, because because just to quickly about
Yeah,
that, um,
yeah, yeah.
paradigm. They 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 were in talks with Pacquiao and got Pacquiao to sign with them in regards to a fight with McGregor. That was Conor McGregor that was going to happen. That was all talked about. But that didn't happen. But then
Right.
they had the rights to his next fight.
Yes. That was
And and then he comes out with I'm fighting Earl Spence Jr. And they're like, well, we got the rights to your fight.
right. Right.
This is
That's
another Fury Wilder Joshua thing.
yeah, and I don't know. I don't know how Pacquiao is going to win that. Like how he's going to come out on top of that. That sounds like it's totally Paradigm has a solid argument and paper to back it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And that freaking sucks for us because we want to see that fight.
Yeah, but it will still happen. But the thing is, we don't want things to wait because Pacquiao is old. I mean, I won't say he's old, but he's old. It's 42.
Yeah.
We don't want him to be on the shelf now in a lawsuit type of court thing for like a year and then he's inactive.
Right, right. Exactly. So, man, when is that? And these court things, hopefully it'll be a quick turnaround. We get a quick answer and then we can move on with it.
Yeah, well, let's see. I mean, there's no talk between Pacquiao and stuff. Like Pacquiao or a lot of the websites, boxing and stuff are not really talking about it as a big situation that this could potentially stop that fight from Earl Spence fight from happening. They're not really saying how serious it is. But it is major serious things.
I agree. I agree completely. Yeah. Well, let's again. Now we got to wait and see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But it's still publicity, right? We're talking about it. So, but I don't think
publicity for that fight.
yeah.
I don't think they need publicity, man. That's Pacquiao, that's Earl Spence, and that's a major fight that'll be sell.
Yeah, sure. That's not gonna need a ton of promotion.
We gotta throw Pacquiao in there as another pay-per-view guy.
Sure.
Pacquiao, Pacquiao, and Gervonta for sure.
Gervonta and Canelo. Those are the top
and of course Canelo.
Yeah. Those are the top three.
Get the fuck out of here, man. You're a horrible. You're horrible. Horrible fighter.
You notice how all these guys, their English has improved?
Oh, yeah.
Canelo's English got better. Lomenchenko's English is much better.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I think like because in Julio Cesar Chavez, that like that time and stuff, whatever, those Mexican fighters, and they never really tried to learn the language because they were doing well with just their fan base in Mexico and stuff and are here and in USA. But now they're making the big bucks is becoming versatility with the language.
Because you can connect to a much larger audience.
Right.
English.
To be honest, Doc, we think about it. We see a fighter and he can't really speak English, and how much are you gonna start following him? Like you want to hear him talk. How do you feel?
Yeah, and hearing it through an interpreter just doesn't do it as much justice, I find.
You're right. So like I remember one fight, I think it was like Eric Morales and Barrera or something, and they're interpreting everything. Like who is it, De Guzman that does it, or I forget the interpreter, or Torres.
Yeah,
I think it's he. Anyways, they're like, come on, Eric, come on. You have to go, you have to fight hard. Do you want water on your balls? Because you know how they pull the cup out, they put water down. It makes you just feel like energized. Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
That's fun.
Okay, Doc, we'll head over
Yeah.
to the next fight then. And well, there was another, the Lubin fight was on the Showtime card, but we're just heading over to the super featherweight top ranked card,
Yeah.
super featherweight belt on ESPN Plus, and we had the return of Vasily Lomo. That's his nickname now that he goes by. It's not high tech that it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Vasily Lomenchenko, training out of Oxnard, California by way of Ukraine. Now is 15-2, 11 KO'd with a TKO in the ninth over Masashi Nakatani, Tokyo, Japan, 19-1, falls to 19-1, 13 KOs. And it was a TKO in the ninth round by Lomachenko. And I'll have to say first before you just say, I'm like, what? A couple things. One is I told everyone, why is everyone forgetting about Lomachenko? Two is he's back.
So did you watch the Loma thing they did? I watched it on YouTube actually a couple days before the fight. The Matrix Reloaded or whatever they called it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see that. I just saw the poster.
So here's what bothered me. So they did that show, and he talked about why he chose Tanaki. Is that his name?
Nakatani.
Nakatani. Nakatani?
Yeah,
Okay.
Nakatani.
So in it, there's a segment where they're interviewing Loma, and he talks about, this is why I chose him.
Yeah.
Right? And it's about Tiafimo, because he gave Tiafimo
I want to show.
Right. That's the only time he mentioned it. And what's his name? Testatori?
Yeah, Jose
he
Testatori.
could not stop talking about it. And he keeps saying stuff like,
he's
focused too much on Tiafimo, and he's going to overlook Nakatani. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, he only did it in the Reloaded thing. He hasn't mentioned Lopez since. The only one talking about Lopez is you.
So everyone else. It. Yeah. Yes.
That was getting on my nerves a bit. And I like Testator, but
he's brilliant.
But in that case, it was like starting to like, just enough already. This is about this fight. That's number one. Number two, though, to the fight itself, I think you must have felt the same way. I just think that I thought this Japanese fighter had absolutely no chance against Loma going in. I think it was going to be a crazy, big, tough test for him. I watched his other fights. And then I thought about the way Loma fights. I thought, this guy doesn't know. He's just
Doc, not. Come on, Doc. You can't say that because
I can't say that because I felt that. Because
that's the way you felt. But I'm just saying, like, you gotta feel differently. No, I'm joking.
No, I say that because I'm more knowledgeable than anybody in boxing. That's why I say it.
Oh, okay. Sorry to our listeners out there or whatever. Just disregard that, please. That's what I do with Doc. I just learn how to in one ear out the other type of thing. But Doc, like, okay, Nakatani, look at what he's done. He gave is one of his more recent fights. The last fight was with Verdejo, and he came back from 2 knockdowns to stop a really good fighter, a disgraced fighter now, but
that wasn't the Felix Verdejo.
No, not the undefeated one. Until you're right, not the undefeated one, but look at what he did with Teofimo. He had a really close, Teofimo won the fight, but he gave Teofimo a difficult time, and that's what Lomachenko said, and he wanted to.
Yes,
so but
okay, so the reason why I thought that is because when I watched that Teofimo Nakatani fight, I don't know why, but in that fight, Teofimo, his energy level was not as usual. A. B, more importantly, Teofimo in that fight came straight forward at Nakatani. And that was his big mistake. Like not respecting this guy and coming straight forward. And I was just thinking, well, that's not the way Loma fights. Loma comes in on angles from the left side, the right side, how is this guy going to deal with a guy that's coming in at tough angles? And I wasn't crazy about Nakatani's footwork, even in the Lopez fight. So that's why I started thinking, no, Loma's going to blow. It's going to be a challenging fight, but he's going to blow through this guy. And he did.
Yeah, he did. He for sure he did.
But you're right. It's easy for me to say that now after the fact, but honestly, that's what I was thinking about before that fight.
No, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, even if they're made up on the spot after the fact. But like after the fact has happened, and then, but the one thing is, first, like, this is his first fight in 250 days. I'm not making excuses. This is coronavirus. Everyone has to go through this.
Yeah.
A lot of people have. But also, like, in the fight with Lopez, we didn't, and I swear, I even said, I'm like, he's given up all these rounds. Maybe there's something wrong with him. It just doesn't look like. I really did say that, but all the credit to Teofimo, because he's a bigger, strong guy, and I think he clearly won that fight. But Lomenchenko, he talked about it here that he got his shoulder repaired. He had surgery on his shoulder. His shoulder was injured before that, going into that fight. And it's a la Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather type of shoulder injury like that. I think it made a big difference because now that because one thing we didn't see is with him in that fight, with any type of matrix stuff that we see that he's known for, that coming over here and he's bang, he's here, bang, he's here. He didn't do any of that in the Lopez fight.
No,
right?
No.
He was worried. He said he was worried about his shoulder.
Yeah, and then at a certain point, by the time the 6th round came, just before the 6th round, basically they said, okay, just, fuck the shoulder. You got nothing else to lose, so go fight. Yeah. And that's what he did. He suddenly, and you can do that with certain injuries. You can do that where you go, oh, I just got to go for this, and I'll deal with it afterwards. Let the adrenaline kick in. Yeah. I'll deal with the pain and whatever happens afterwards. And that's what it looked like he did. But we still got to give Lopez credit, especially for the 12th round.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He won that round pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
And I think that won him the fight as well.
Right.
I scored it 7-5.
Yeah, I scored it about maybe. Yeah, I gave him. I thought it was a clear-cut victory, anyways, for Lopez. But I mean, like this is what Lomenchenko was saying, right? Yeah. He's like, he's like, okay. So I'm happy because I won. All the strategies that we developed, my team, we worked. I reached all my goals. I won. Now I'm back on track. Everybody saw how I won this fight, and everybody is waiting for the rematch with Lopez. So let's make a rematch. He has a fight. He has a fight in the future with Kambosos, but now what? How about later, after, in the beginning of next year, December, January, February? I'm waiting.
So now I heard that the Lopez Kambosos fight, which was scheduled for June or whatever.
First July, and then it was canceled because of COVID. Yeah,
then
COVID.
August. And now the latest is it may not happen until September.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And I even heard that it may not even happen. Really? And I heard this. It may not even that I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that. But they're saying that it being postponed that many times, then the fight can lose the interest. I mean, we don't want to see. We want to see Lomenchenko and Lopez rematch. We don't want to see no Kambosos.
True, but remember,
Kambosos, I know he's a mandatory. Who cares? It's one of the belts, IBF belt, whatever. What's more at stake here?
I know. But then again, the word unification keeps coming up.
Yeah, you're right. It depends what they want.
Yeah, this is making it very. And then let's say he fights in September. Let's say they do fight mid to late September.
Yeah.
Let's say Lopez gets a cut or something in the fight. You never know, right? So now you got to go at least 3 months before you can get cleared to fight again. So now we got September, October, November, mid-December. We're getting close to Christmas. Would they do a Christmas fight just before the holiday? I don't know.
And speaking of cuts, in the first round, Lomenchenko sustained a nice gash on top of the head, and Russ Amber is his cut man, and Russ Amber is a brilliant cut man.
He did a great job.
Yeah, he worked my corner before in my pro fight, some of them. But he's brilliant. He's look what he did. He stopped that cut, and then a cut that early and that high could possibly be damaging because the blood's gonna come down quick. When it comes down, it comes down quick. And it's gonna go into your eye. Stop.
Yeah.
But
no, you did a great. I didn't see that. I didn't see it bleed after that happened. I didn't see it bleed in any round
at all. Isn't he's that good for us?
He's good, man. That team better value him.
Lomachenko said it in the post-fight press conference. Talked about not press conference, but in an interview. He talked about how Russ Amber. He was just like Russ Amber. He stopped the cut. I gave him all my backing, whatever. He's the one that's helped me win this fight.
That's awesome. Good. I'm glad he said that. I'm glad. Because that guy can turn a fight in a different direction. He was pretty. He used his head a lot, Nakatani, in the clinch. I noticed,
Yeah, I mean, literally uses the head. Like,
but just
yeah.
Right, trying to get
not like the sweet science using your head, like like that, using the head, like that. And
you see Nakatani's game plan. There was a throw punches and clinch, or if you get hit with one punch before Loma can throw his next, step in, try to clinch. But you saw there was one round where he was holding Loma's arm, and Loma just kept hitting him.
Yeah,
and he turned his back a few times. Did you notice that too?
I don't remember that part.
Oh man! But what did you think about the knockout at the end of the day?
No, I thought it was brilliant. It capped a brilliant performance with the knockout to put the icing on the cake and the exclamation point on a great performance.
It really was a great performance.
Yeah.
He kept doing things each round that built and built and built and built, and everything he did in the previous rounds led to that end. So it was great.
And then Teofimo's dad says, because his dad was at the Lomenchenko fight, and they showed him in the stands there. I like Teofimo's dad too. He's not like some of the other dads, mainly Danny Garcia's dad. Teofimo's dad goes, the rematch has to happen after my son's defense against Kambosos. So it's gonna happen before or after Kambosos fight. Now in the while goes the best technique in the world. It's amazing in regards to Lomenchenko and his fight, and that's a lot of respect and props from great fighter.
That is that has value when it comes from a guy like that. The other thing, going into that fight, Loma was, I think, ranked number 9 in the pound for pound, which is incredible to me that he'd be so low on it. But
well, I mean, Doc, once you lose, your value has, especially in boxing, in a sport like boxing, like you lose, or if you lose a game, but if you lose a fight, everyone likes an undefeated record.
I know you could still be pound for pound even if you've been defeated, I think, but.
And Lomenchenko has been on the pound for pound 1, 2, or 3 the top three for many,
Yeah.
like 2-3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. That's why I was surprised that he was like either 8th or 9th, that low on the top 10.
Yeah.
But this will move him right up again, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see what all the talk now is going to be about what's going to happen next with these guys. Who are they going to fight? The pressure is coming from the fans now, and the fans are gonna demand.
Yeah.
Usually that's it. Usually the promoter sides with what the draw and the demand is. Let's go for that because they're gonna make more money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is going to be intriguing to see what happens. I really hope that Lopez just gets that fight with. I hope that fight happens.
Yeah,
and then we can move on, keep moving forward, unless there's Kambosos upsets him and wins.
So what I was saying, like, why there's problems with this fight. There's been a lot of talk about. There's been a lot of talk about he had coronavirus. He doesn't have coronavirus. They're having trouble right now, Triller, because they did put a lot of money into staging this fight. 6 something million was a purse bid, right?
Right.
And so it looks like, from what I've heard from comments and things, is that Triller is having an issue right now in regards to if they're going to even stage this fight now, because they're not doing well pay-per-view sales wise, pre-sales and whatever. And I don't know.
Man.
I don't know how true that is.
I don't know. But if that were the case, there's even more incentive to make a rematch with Lomenchenko and Lopez, because that's where the big money would be for Triller.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it wouldn't be on the Triller network. It would have to be, but Triller would be part of it.
Yeah,
I don't know how it would be. They would have to be part of it for sure.
Yeah,
because it's top ranked too. It's probably a duel. Well, we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to that bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, Doc. Then we're just heading back to the undercard fight on the Showtime card at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And then this was Erickson, the Hammer Lubin for the WBC silver super welterweight, so many belts. Lubin now is 24-1, 17 KOs with a 6-round TKO over Jason Banana Rosario, 20-3, 14 KOs from Dominican Republic, and the Hammer from Orlando, Florida. So we'll get your opinion, Doc.
Yeah. So the guy he fought, Rosario, he was a former champion.
Right? He was, yeah.
So he's no slouch, and as a matter of fact, I can't remember.
Not.
What's that?
Definitely not a slouch.
And in one of the rounds, I mean, he rocked Lubin.
Yeah, he did.
But Lubin came back nicely. A couple of things impressed me. And there's another lefty. A couple of things impressed me with Lubin. He's got speed, man. Like his 1-2 is one of the fastest 1-2s I've seen.
Right down the pipe, eh?
Woo, right down the pipe, sharp.
Yeah.
But that body, he didn't even hit him in the liver. He hit him with a hard right to the ribs. And I don't know what the medical report is after that fight, but I got a feeling he damaged those ribs on Rosario.
Couple of things. Well, one thing about that, about the body punch and stuff, like we can't give Lubin that much credit that he's like he's a puncher like that, this and that, because Jason Banana Rosario, his last fight, he fought Jermell Charlo, and Charlo knocked him out with a jab to the body. And he was having like convulsions. There may be something wrong, honestly, with this guy. It's like internally.
I hear you. And it's interesting because Lubin was throwing a left shot to his body, right? Changing levels and throwing that hard left right to his sternum as well.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Maybe there's something going on. You're right.
I think so. I think there's something going on with him. But we can't take away from Lubin, because Lubin
No.
now is he's he's now, what is it? 6-0 since that knockout loss to Jamal Charlo.
Right. Yeah.
Jamal to Jamal Charlo. He's now 6-0. So, but honestly, in that fight, a little bit, I was scared. I'm like, oh, he looks like he's hurt again. Because they look a few times like he was, Jason was really nailing him with a few, and I'm not sure how good his chin is, but I think that's his Achilles heel. But aside from that, he's a sick, complete fighter, great fighter, complete, complete. No,
Yeah. So we got to see him now fight somebody in the division that is also a power puncher too.
Jamal. Let's see him a rematch with Jamal, because when they fought the first time, he was only 21.
He was young, man. He was too young. He wasn't ready for a fight like that. I don't think. Young. Yeah.
Now he's mature. He's on 6-fight winning streak. He's with the coach Kevin Cunningham, and just a little bit about the coaches and the cards that the fights that we saw. Like, look at the example how coaching has really propelled these fighters to a level. Like, look at Calvin Ford and Gervonta Davis, and then we look at Jermell Charlo and Kevin Cunningham, and their relationship, and how what he's doing with Jermell Charlo is brilliant.
Yeah.
Right. Tyson Fury and Sugar Hill, and from Detroit. Look what he's done with him.
Yeah.
So there, you're not the only. I know when the bell rings, it's just you, but there's a whole thing that prepares you, the behind the scenes stuff that prepares you for when the bell does ring. Then it's you, but with the guidance of a good coach that, look, for example, Calvin Ford, when he's like, and then you had, here, some coaches would be like, well, it's Mayweather anyways. Like, you can't be like, no, good, you can't talk in the corner. He'd be like, yo, you're gone after this, man.
Yeah.
You ain't coming to these fights anymore.
He let him say what he had to say.
Yeah. So some like coaches, look at how important they have been. And
look at Canelo's.
Yeah.
And then Oscar Valdez joins him, and Oscar Valdez wins a huge fight.
Right.
Against Berchelt.
Right.
So you're right. It is really huge.
Eddie Reynoso, it makes a world of a difference. It does. It really does. When it's this level, there's things that you need that are going to help propel you to getting ahead of the rest of the game.
Right.
And I'm not talking about steroids and stuff.
I know.
I know. Like coaching and
it's seeing the detail, the minutia that needs to be adjusted, and that gives you that extra edge. And that's what the good coaches can do. They can see the little things that need to be improved.
They use the word tweaking, like tweak this, tweak that, right?
Yeah.
And you're so right. Like, when it comes to that level, there's just a few different things. When you change them, then it'll separate you from the pack. These guys, everyone comes into the ring, like, not all the time, but most of the time, they're in equal condition.
Yes.
And then it's right, and then it's the coaching. And you mentally.
Yeah. There's so many little factors. Even the coach can get you tuned in mentally. Sometimes it's not tweaking the technique, it's knowing how to tweak this.
Yeah, like you could be one of those influencing coach, like, we firemen, like so we firemen. You're blowing it, son. You're blowing it. I'm gonna call your son right now. Tell him daddy's not fighting good. That's how this was saying with the Michael Moore. And then whatever.
Man, Teddy Atlas, you gotta love him, man.
Whatever works, right? Yeah.
I'm just glad he didn't when he told him the fireman about the fireman thing. I'm just glad he didn't pull out his hose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that only if that was like if it was pay-per-view, then a pay-per-view fight, then it could have been.
True.
But not that, like a Gervonta.
Yeah, but you're right. That the great coaches are great. They're great for a reason.
For sure, they
Yeah.
make the difference, and when you need to elevate yourself, and I mean, look at like it's no coincidence that these top fighters are all going to the nucleus of coaches that are around, and we're talking like Eddie Reynoso and Sugar Hill and Freddie Roach and like Bones Adams, like
Yeah.
those guys, they're all going to those coaches because they're the best.
Buddy McGirt, like you're
Buddy
seeing.
McGirt,
Yeah,
for sure.
That's that. I wonder if that's more of a new phenomena as opposed to 30 years ago.
Me, yeah, I don't know. I think so.
You're right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it because it gets you excited just for the reason that they've moved to a new trainer and a trainer that you're like, oh, that guy's awesome.
It can make them better. Like they can, this guy's gone with once we heard Fury went with Sugar Hill, it was like, damn, now Fury has become like even better than what he was.
Yeah. And very intriguing now. So that's awesome, man. That's a good point.
Yeah, okay. So we can
Are we done?
Yeah, 1 hour.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I want you to watch some of the undercards.
Okay,
there were some really good ones.
Yeah.
And then we can maybe mention them if there's not much happening. I don't think there's much happening this weekend in fights because of the long weekend.
But just that Chris Colbert and originally I said on the previous episode that it was the Uzbekistan guy. This is not an Uzbekistan fighter, he's from Mongolia, but another Olympian.
Okay, because they have to find a new fighter, a new opponent for him.
Yeah, short notice, but not a really good fighter.
Okay, that's
a top fighter.
Okay, gonna watch that.
We'll see. Yeah, and then we'll be back, Doc. We'll be back. I'll have a look at on Sunday. I woke up because I watched the whole tank thing, whatever, all that.
Yeah.
And I woke up to watch the Lomenchenko fight, and I was like, damn, man, why did we stop thinking like this? I really didn't. I had doubts. I ain't gonna lie. Like most people did. I'm like, this guy is so sick. Look at what he's doing.
Yeah.
Holy. I was like, wow.
Yeah. I jumped out of my seat when he ended up knocking him out.
Yeah.
I was all right. Like,
yeah.
So good. But there were good undercards on both events. Like, wow. So that's why I want you to watch and get your opinion on
it. Just one thing quickly, Doc. I don't know if you knew about this. Sorry, 1 second. It's the grandson of Muhammad Ali.
I saw the interview. Yeah,
is now signed with Top Rank, who promoted. Pardon?
His name's Nico, I think.
Yeah, Nico Ali Walsh.
Yeah,
grandson of Muhammad Ali. He signed with Top Rank.
Yeah.
He's only pressure.
Pressure, man.
Yeah, but talk about how much money do you think this guy's gonna be making, and how happy is Bob Arum that
Arum promoted his grandfather, and now he's promoting his grandson. That's incredible.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of good segue, speaking of heavyweights, there was a heavyweight on the undercard of the Loma, an Italian dude. I want you to watch him because this dude is good.
Okay, is he did he come with the shield thing on walking in the ring? Gladiator?
They didn't, like, they just saw, they were like Tessitore and those guys were talking, and then the guy was already in the ring, so I don't know.
Okay.
But he's a big Italian dude. He's got real skill. I think every fight he's won by knockout. And he looks good.
He's undefeated?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because there was another undefeated Italian that he lost on I think it was on an ESPN platform too, and they were talking about him though. It's not that guy.
It's not that
This guy was a bronze, maybe even a gold medalist or bronze medalist, silver medalist at the Olympics.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I can't remember exactly, but if you find all those undercards, you're going to see it.
Yeah.
And he was impressive.
Okay.
Just from a technical point of view, just watching the way he threw his punches was like, oh, this guy's got something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we'll talk, Doc. I was gonna go over the fights and stuff that are coming up and everything. Because
We'll
there's
do that.
always like, tons of fights, but we'll talk next time.
Yeah. I think we'll probably have more time next time because there's not a lot going on next weekend. So
Yeah.
okay.
Except for primetime Chris Colbert. Make sure you watch him. I told you about him, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Brooklyn boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, man.
Doc. All right. Peace out.